Hello and welcome. My name is Obed Ogero from Southern Hampshire University. I'm here working on the project by the name Presenting the Organization, and my presentation will be talking about organizational communications. Thank you and welcome. This is the outline of my project. The first point that I want to discuss about is what is the organizational communications, and the second point that will be narrating down in the PowerPoint is functions of organization communication in business. And then I will move to the importance of transparency in an organization, uh, communication between target messages, strategy and corporate branding. I will explain more about that, and how organizational communication can be used to shape the company by the name SEM, which brand. Then I will move to strategies which can be used to build and maintain SEME, which reputations. I will also talk about that in a certain slide. And then lastly, I will talk about why it is useful to have dedicated role of organization communication at SCME wage company. And then lastly, I will do the conclusion. So to start with the first slide, I want to talk about what is organizational communications. This is the sending of and receiving of messages among interrelated individuals within a particular environment to achieve a certain set of goals that are made up for set to accomplish. It's highly appreciated, appropriate, and dependent. Individuals in organization transmit messages in different ways, including face-to-face, written, immediate, and general. So that's a short definition of what's organizational communications in an organization. Moving to the functions of organizational communication in a business, I tended to get some of like three. The first one is informing the employees within the organization to make decisions. This point is to help the employees to get informed and maybe make the appropriate decisions for the tasks that they are going to do. The second point is it motivates the employees by making clarifications on the direction that on which they have been given to work on the task. And the third point is employees fulfill their social needs through emotional expressions which takes place within social network between employees. In this slide, I want to talk about the importance of transparency. As we know, transparency is a way of being open and doing things in a light way without even trying to hide anything. Having transparency is a way of doing things openly without any kind of hiding or and thing of that sort. So the first point, the first importance of in transparency, in an organization is it boosts the innovation among the employees. That's the first point. Then the second one is it increases productivity in an organization. Due to transparency, there is more expectations of productivity within an organization, which leads to more profits. Then the third point is transparency build up relation within the organization. There is creation of a good relationship between the employees in the organization and maybe the employees and their directors and managers and supervisors. It brings up a good relationship. The fourth and the last point that I talked about is it increases trust among the employees. It creates that like mentality of people having trust amongst one another, and this is one key that helps one another to move the company forward. And all this build up a good environment and a workable environment for the employees, which makes them, the organization move forward. In this slide, I'm talking about the connection between the targeted messaging and strategies, targeting messaging, strategies and corporate branding. Uh, Connection between targeting, messaging, strategy, and corporate planning is that both are interdependent to enhance demand within an organization. In that the two are co-reliant and work together from beginning to end. Marketing and communication are best done in conjunction with the others and with balanced effort. That's according to Stevenson, the year 2018. That's the short definition I can give about the connection between the targeted messaging, strategies, and corporate planning. Working on this slide, I got some couple of points, like 1, 2, 3, 4 points about how organizational communication can be used to shape the SCME bridge plan. The first point I talked about it will build up a strong relationship among the SDM which employees. Now, it actually creates a good relationship between the employees, as I said, mentioned it earlier, employees and maybe the employees, the managers, and the supervisors, they interlink with one another in a very smooth way, which is the best way to move the company to the next level. It will bring about idea and innovation among the employees of the SME wage company. You get that when we have a good relation and people are working together, it goes without saying that there is a lot of ideas that are generated and more innovations that will move the company forward. That point I'm going to talk about is it helps to establish clear expectations for employees and customers of SME wage company. At this point, I guess it actually puts the company in a good position in a manner that the employees get to know the expectations, the goals that they have set, and they work for those goals. And at that point is the employees, more the employees know about the company, the more they have, they serve as the ambassadors representing the company outside. When the employees, they have like a good relation to one another and they get to know the company more, they serve like ambassadors whereby they market the company outside and they get more customers, like the mission of the company. Once the employees have access to know every place within the company, the rules and regulations of the company, and they participate within the company, they get to interact the company with the outside environment. The last point I'm going to talk about is the effect of organization communication will lead to strong teamwork and ability to the employees at a level of organization. Having teamwork within an organization is a very important thing because it brings about accomplishing the mission within a short time and working it in a quality way. I mean, it's a way of doing quality things out of generating ideas from different employees or from outside, like from different cultures. We expect that when an organization is having different employees with different cultures and different ideas, we expect the results to be positive and the quality of work done there will be of high quality. And this slide I'm going to talk about strategies which can be used to build or maintain the SME which reputation. These are some strategies that are put aside that can enable the company to move forward and maybe make the reputation of the company to look fine. The first point I talked about is keeping the customer in mind by considering their needs. To talk like more about it, I think considering the customers, like what they need, and trying to be promising to the customers, it will build the reputation of the company. The next point is giving quality services always. This is very necessary for the company to progress because once you are promising to your customers and you do as by you promise to your customers, it will keep the reputation of the company, and the company will grow more than the expectations. Using the technology and performing the tasks, as we know, technology is put aside for doing quality things and working and making sure that the tasks are done in time. So using technology instead of using the human resource maybe, and maybe without using the modern technologies, it can hinder the company. By using the technologies, it can make the company to move to the next level. The third point I'm talking about is using the making use of human resource in workplace. It's also a very important point when it comes to making the reputation of the company shine. The last point I'm going to raise is focusing on education and understanding all different weaknesses and strengths of different professions. I guess this is a point that trying to tell that once you are doing some recruitments within the company, or when you giving jobs to the new employees, it should be very important for the company to consider the education, the skills that somebody has, and the experience that a person has over the job that is applying onto. I'm here to talk about why is it useful to have a dedicated role for organizational communication at ACME which organization. The first point I said is it establishes clear expectations for employees and customers. And the second one is build strong relationship within the SME company. As we know, that is the key point of moving the company forward and maybe making high productivities. And the third point is encouraging ideas and innovation throughout the organization. Coming up with ideas is a very good thing and innovations, and the company should be looking at those ideas and try to judge them to see if they can be workable within the organization. The fourth thing I'm going to talk about is shapes. It shapes the positive culture for the SME which company. And the last point I will raise is builds a strong teamwork in the organization. In conclusion, I could wish to say that organizational communication helps sending and receiving of messages in the company, which is very important because having a good communication in an organization, it's a very important thing in terms of task performance, in terms of general communication within the company, and enhances productivity, I can say. And another conclusion I may make, it's a basic requirement to the better performance of an organization, as I mentioned above. I think having a good communication organization, it enhances productivity within the performance, within the organization. And lastly, it trains the employees to have good experience and their duty to perform their duties. It trains the employees to have good performance and able to perform their duties and ensure that whatever the duty are performing is of high quality. Thank you so much. My name again is Oger Opet. Thank you for the audio and for your time. And this page is of the references. You will have to look upon them. That the references of the citations that I made on my report, or rather my PowerPoint presentation. Thank you once again. This is my end. Thank you so very much.